Good evening, everybody. How are you today? And welcome to the latest edition of Drew Media Live. So nice to have you with us for this Friday, the 4th day of December, the year 2020. And the year is almost over. And as December is finally here, so one more year left of the 2020 season. Of the 2020 year, and what a year it has been. And nevertheless, and of course, I'm yours truly, Andrew L. Perry. Thank you very much. As always, coming alive and at you from the busy streets of New York City. As I chat to you what is happening in the world of sports. We have a lot to discuss as far as the NFL is concerned. So that is the main topic. That is the main topic right now. While we stay on the NFL, as we look forward to Week 13 of the National Football League. I said this before. For those of you folks who didn't hear me, I said this before a couple of years ago. I've been saying this for the last 4 years, and I'm going to say it now. After the Lions and Cowboys Thanksgiving game, the real season starts to kick in. As from now to the new year, is going to be playoff pick until the regular season is over. If they get 16's game over. But anyway, the NFL pitch is time to separate the men from the boys. What I mean by that, it's time to set up the playoff picture. It's time to get in gear for the playoffs, because a lot of games is going to be crucial from here on out. But before we get into that, let's go to the Pittsburgh. Let's recap the Pittsburgh Steelers Wednesday afternoon game after twice being delayed, after two postponement because of COVID with the Ravens Steelers game. It was supposed to be on Thanksgiving. It was supposed to be on Thanksgiving night. It moved to Sunday. Then it moved to Tuesday, and then it finally went to Wednesday. And the result, the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Baltimore Ravens by the score of 19-14. So that was the score. Out the gate, you know, the Pittsburgh Steelers may be undefeated, but for a team who has been undefeated, you cannot be impressed. They are the worst undefeated team I have ever seen in the history of the National Football League. I'm serious. When you see teams who've been undefeated this long in a year, they should be dominant. They should be dominant. They should be playing well. They played this and that before. The Steelers did not play well in this game at all. Let's start first. They barely run the football. Number one. Number two, they let the Ravens hang on. If the Ravens would have played, the Ravens didn't play better. The Ravens didn't play good either. If the Ravens would have played better than they should, the game might be closer. Even though I still think the Pittsburgh Steelers would have won, but this game, if you watch the game, it was drop balls left and right. To some degree, you got to give the Ravens credit, because they did play a lot of coverage, and add this too, the refs let them play, which is very rare in this modern day NFL, because as we all know, they love to call. The NFL like to be the star of the game, but you didn't see a lot of calls that were left and right. You didn't see any calls that left and right. The refs made the call left and right. But anywho, you know, they drop a lot of passes. Roethlisberger did not play well. Roethlisberger did not play good. Did not play good at all. He said to Michelle Tafoya he didn't like the way the Steelers played. And you know what? I don't blame him. I don't blame him. But you gotta, to me, the defense, the reason why the Steelers won this game, obviously because of the defense. Because of the defense. The defense put the defense, for the most part, played well. For the most part. They're pretty good, but they're not as good. They're not as good as the 1975 Pittsburgh Steelers or the Steelers in the early 70s. So, I mean, the Steelers they had a lot of games like this. They had a lot of games like this. They could have easily lost. They could have lost to Denver. They could have lost to the Denver Broncos. If the kicker from Tennessee made that field goal, the Steelers, they could have lost again to the Tennessee Titans. They almost lost to the Dallas Cowboys. So and this game this past Wednesday. So they have a lot. The Steelers had a lot of games they could have won. And if they don't get it together offensively, sooner or later, these type of games could come back to bite them. Now, as for the Ravens for a second, let me go to the Ravens for a second. As for the Baltimore Ravens, yes, they're not going to win the division this year. But I still think they have a slim chance of making the playoffs. I still think they still have a slim chance to make the playoffs. I really do. Because but they have to play. I think they have to play Cleveland at the end of the year. If they beat Cleveland at the end of the year, chances are they could make the playoffs. Now, their chance of winning the division is out. Obviously, that not come out of winning the division. So they're not going to win the AFC North. Excuse me. But this game, and this was your typical Steelers. This wasn't your typical Steelers-Ravens rivalry. The Ravens-Steelers rivalry is, yes, this is the best rivalry in football right now, as far as head-to-head, very closely and so forth. But both teams would have played well. Defense would have played superb. The defense would be. It was not that type of game. But again, if the Steelers continue to play like this, one of these days is going to come back to bite them. It really could. It really, really could. So the Steelers offensively got to play a lot better. A lot better. I know they didn't have time to practice. Now we have to put this in consideration that they did not practice. So this year, preparation this year is tough because of COVID. Now I'm gonna jump on the Broncos real second. I'm gonna jump on the Broncos real second about all the quarterbacks catching COVID. I'm like, how stupid can y'all be? How irresponsible and stupid could y'all be? And honestly, if I'm the owner of the Denver Broncos, honestly, when this season is over, you may call me harsh. I'll wrap up the contract and let him go to free agency. Because you cannot be irresponsible, especially like this. Especially we have an opportunity to play for your team. The quarterback is usually the leader, is majority the leader in the National Football League. And if they cannot lead by example, then you know what? You don't belong to be in the National Football League. Something so simple of wearing a mask. And you know what? I'm not going to get into the wearing a mask, wearing not wearing a mask, but that's another topic for another day. But there comes a point where a team's gotta understand, and the league gotta understand, it's COVID-19. It's a global pandemic. You should have a backup plan. You shouldn't wait to think. You shouldn't wait till shit hit the fan. You should have a plan. If the game start canceling because of COVID and this and that, then we do this, then we do that. Then we do this, we do that. But to wait it out and see if we're gonna play through this and stuff like that. Y'all should have figured it out. Y'all should have figured it out before the season started, which is really mind-boggling to me. It's really, really mind-boggling to me. You know, it really, really is. All right, let me go to the NFC. Let's go to the NFC East for a second. Another thing I want to get to. Can we stop talking about the Eagles already? What if you go to ESPN? What if you go to ESPN Radio, Sirius XM, WF, Eagles, the Eagles network of Philadelphia? I am so freaking tired of watching the NFC East. I'm tired of watching the Giants. I'm tired of watching the football team. I'm tired of watching the Cowboys, and I'm definitely tired of watching the Philadelphia Eagles, because what we saw this past Monday, it's the same garbage. It's the same garbage. Lousy NFC East football, and honest to God, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Yo, how many times you going to watch NFC East football, and it's garbage? We know the Eagles are not good. We know the Cowboys are not good. We know the Washington football team is not good. The Giants are not good. So I don't know why. I'd rather watch the NFC West, which is the best division in the best division in the National Football League right now. It really is. Like I said, let's go as we go into week 13. As we go into week 13 of the National Football League. No Thursday night football game yesterday, but like I said, the playoffs is going to be pushed more and more. The Giants Seahawks have applications as far as the Giants' path to winning the NFC East. As we see, will the Jets finally get a win? Which is, even if they do, it's not going to matter anyway. It's really not. It's really not. But anyway, the Steelers and the Bills are gonna play. You know, a lot of good. Atlanta Falcons, the Saints versus the Cardinals. Should be a good matchup. Several good games going on. But it's going to be this week of football is going to be really, 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 really interesting. It really, really is. And let's see if. And one other thing before I go, I think the NFL might consider a little bit, as far as the playoffs go, to do a bubble, just like the MLB and hockey and so forth, because to get these games going. And with that, that's going to do it for this edition of Drew Mania Live. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to listen to this episode again, please go to Spreaker.com. Type in the keyword Andrew L. Perry. Once again, go to Spreaker.com. Type in the keyword Andrew L. Perry. And always follow my show on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. Until next time, this is Andrew Perry saying to you, shalom. Let peace go with you, and I'll talk to you in the next Drew Mania Live. So long, everybody.